February through April, we're really going to talk about kind of the whole idea of these meeting purposes, first of all, is to engage you, to enlighten you, and to educate you about what's coming down the road with CEI. We want to, each Thursday, we're going to share information, we're going to give you the latest updates, and most importantly, we're going to answer your questions so that we all kind of have a clear path of where we're going with this. And this all pretty much came about because of research and analysis that Girl Scouts of the USA did with regards to the problems we were having with getting girls registered, with getting volunteers on board. And we looked at different ways to completely just basically overhaul the entire process so that when we move forward, it makes things easier for everyone involved in it, and it helps us through registration, screening, troop meetings. It's an overall way we're aligning all of our people, our process, and all of our systems together. So that is how we kind of came about with this. The Girl Scout councils across the nation have been rolling out very successfully for the past 3 years. So it's our turn now as a council to roll this out within Girl Scouts of Virginia Skyline. So here's the information. I'm not going to read everything to you all over, but this is basically where we're going when it comes to our structure for CEI and how we're going to incorporate it into our weekly meetings. But the next slide is kind of our upcoming topics. So we're going to give you some intro tonight, and then as we go along, we're going to do deeper. We're going to do deeper dives.
Yes, I like one bacon and cheese potato, one home-style chicken sandwich, and one spicy chicken sandwich.
Megan, are you talking? We lost you.
Sorry, we thought we could. We thought we could mute other people, and then continue talking, but that doesn't seem to be working.
I think you muted us all.
Yeah, sorry. I think we're just going to go through and try to mute each individual person. Yeah, never mind. We've got it. We've got it. We got it. Okay, sorry. So with each week, sorry, we tried to mute all, but we ended up muting ourselves as well, even though it shows a green light on us. But
everybody get dinner.
We're going to do deeper dives into the Volunteer Toolkit, the member community, as well as different planning pieces that we have for the troops and volunteers, and the new online registration process. So next slide, please, Megan. So why CEI? Why are, I mean, the basic is for you all, for the volunteers, for our parents, for our girls, for our new potential prospective people who want to be involved in Girl Scouting. We want to make it easier for them to find us and to sign up. We want to simplify and reduce the time to volunteer overall. And we also want to ensure that volunteers get their questions answered when they need to and how they need it answered. So it's a really nice overall experience for everyone. Specifically, yes, it's going to shorten the time that we onboard leaders. We're talking about onboarding leaders within 1 week now instead of within months. We're talking about different new tools that we have coming up. We'll get specifically more into it for the opportunity catalog as well as for the volunteer toolkit. But this is to simplify things for everyone and to improve the whole personal care service experience.
Lost you all again.
All right, no, we're here. We're trying to mute someone. So the main features, there's really 4 main pieces to the puzzle that we have coming up. The volunteer toolkit, an opportunity catalog, what's called a member community, and then there's specific internal council changes And we'll talk about those specifically coming up. And we're going to start off first with what the Volunteer Toolkit is.
And let me just say real quick, welcome everybody. I love that you all joined. Please mute yourself as you join. Thank you. Getting a lot of feedback. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. Volunteer Toolkit. So we're talking about making things simple and easy when it comes to troop planning. So for the troop leader, it's specifically, currently it's done for Daisy Brownie Juniors. There will be coming up later on for the older girl troops, Cadet Senior Ambassadors. This is something that is going to be through a web portal.
They're everywhere. All of them are there. One right over there.
Nancy? Hey, Nancy.
Yes.
Yes. Hey, can you mute yourself? Because that's who I hear is Nancy Stewart. I know that voice.
Okay.
You can actually listen to us, but mute if you're on your cell phone, you can just hit the little mute area on it. Thanks, Nancy. I think she did. Thank you. So it's the idea is it's an app. That's the only way, to me, simplifying it is instead of having all your books and your calendar and just lots of different, we'll show you in a little bit, lots of different resources all over the place, putting them in one place that you can access through multiple different ways, your computer, your iPad, your cell phone, tablet, whatever it is. But it's a way you're going to be able to communicate with your parents and share with your co-leaders and your helpers and everyone who's actually volunteering within your troop, all in one spot. Okay. So we have the demo next, right?
Yeah.
We're going to show you a little demo.
All right. So I'm going to log in here. So this is the demo site from GSUSA, and okay, so this isn't how, all right, this is with the demo, you can choose to look at the Volunteer Toolkit either as a troop leader or as a parent. So this is unique just to the demo site. So I'm going to choose a Brownie site, or Brownie level, and then it's going to ask me, do I want to be a Journey year, badge year, create my own? I'm going to choose a Brownie badge year. So once you get in here, it's going to have this pre-populated list of meetings, but you can move them around based on your preference. Also new is you can support multi-level troops now for Daisy Brownie Jr. And so you've got this nice list, and when you're ready to, when you specify your meeting date time, so I'm going to set my first troop meeting date for February 23rd next week. I'm going to meet at 4 p.m. and I'm going to say bi-weekly, and then it kind of has these exceptions for holidays to make sure that we don't, like, automatically helps you avoid scheduling troop meetings on major holidays. Or you can, if you're okay with meeting on Martin Luther King Day, then you can put that on the calendar. So then once you choose your date and time, it updates that year plan with actual dates and their times. And so when you reorder them, it updates it right there on the spot for you. And then your co-leader will be able to see this change. So you and your co-leader will share the Volunteer Toolkit, and then parents will be able to see this meeting plan. Parents will not be able to move the meetings around, but they will see this list. The other cool part is when you click on a meeting, it has an agenda for you. It has the activity plan you need, materials list. It breaks it down into increments, and it's based on an hour-and-a-half meeting. So obviously you can change those as you need. And you can make notes on here to parents. There's also a communication tool with parents to send them a reminder about the meeting, and it will include details about the meeting activities and materials that they need to bring.
I am. Yeah, I'm good.
Pretty cool. And also, you can see your troop, and then you can look at their information, and you can renew if you want, and it'll take you to the member community, and we'll show you that in a minute. So we're going to go back to the demo, and the next image I've got here is what that reminder email looks like to your parents. So you can see that you can add in, you can automatically list all associated parents and their emails, and that's one of the reasons why emails are a critical piece of information for the transition and why we need that good data.
Later.
And it's got the date, location, topic, and all kinds of great information. All right.
So next we have the opportunity catalog. And this is basically, think about this as our new way for membership, for girls and adults as well. And we're talking about not only finding a place for a girl, but finding a place for a volunteer to volunteer, an adult to volunteer. So it's unique in its sense is that we're going to actually populate this with our current troops, as well as populating with new troops coming up at different neighborhoods or schools where we're actually doing open houses, as well as any other type of membership marketing event that's going on. And we have a little bit, are these the links to the, yeah, let's check out, because you can do it, it's done by troop opportunity, it's done by volunteer opportunity. They're going to be able to search within their neighborhood, within where they live or their school, to find a troop near them that's either opened or a new troop.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you just a quick demo of what the new registration is going to look like based on, we're going to start using a council that has already gone live. And you'll see here there's this My GSP. So that's where you'll access your toolkit and your member profile once we go live. But for the opportunity catalog, so I'm a new girl and I want to join. So I click Become a Girl Scout. It takes you to Get Started. This is going to be the new screen for the first step of registration. And all we're asking for is like girl's first name, last name, zip code, and then grade information, caregiver name, and email. That's as far as we're going. When they hit continue, the next step that they're going to go to is the opportunity catalog, and this is what it looks like. So ways to participate. So there's a couple ways that people can search. You can search by zip code, and I'm going to just, and then you can specify a radius of up to 20 miles, and you can also specify your grade, and you click search. So
there was a button here, right?
No matter what, if there are no troops in the opportunity catalog, and we'll explain in later webinars how to get into the how exactly you'll get into the catalog. But if there are no troops showing here, there will always be this unsure. This is going to be sort of the new waiting list, and there will always be individually registered members. Now, if I know of a specific troop number, so like at a recruitment event, our recruiters, when they're setting it up, they'll have one ahead of time, or my best friend is in a troop and she's invited me, so I type in a troop number, and this is going to be, these are my options. So there's one that's grade 7, it's meeting near Litchfield Middle School. I wonder which ones are going to meet. I'll be able to tell which ones are meeting on a time that's convenient for me. So if I can do Mondays, and I'm looking, and I've got a girl who's in kindergarten, then this third one's going to be the perfect one for me. You'll also see it shows how many openings are remaining. So these troops, can hold 12 girls, 10 girls. Gives me the number, and then how many volunteers are needed for that troop. If I want to know a little bit more about a troop, I can click on that link, and it'll say, we'll have basic descriptions, but each volunteer co-leader or troop co-leader will be able to come up with their own description. to match their troop. And the next flow, you'd pick that and move to the next, or finish your registration. We can't do that right here because this is as far as the demo lets us get. But that's what the opportunity catalog looks like for girls or for parents, and then the same thing for adults when they go to the website and they say volunteer now, let's get started. Kind of a similar screen, volunteer today, put in your name and email, and then once you get to the adult catalog, you can see that there's a product sales manager position available. I could be a troop chaperone for, you know, a multi-level. And you can see here that we are supporting multi-level troops, and we'll be able to specify all the grades supported. We'll have TBDs for new troops, and that way, you know, these volunteers know that, you know, we're going to have some troops in here where we don't specify either the location or the day and time because it's still up in the air, and they'll be able to negotiate that. All right. That's the opportunity catalog. And Jen, are you ready for me to take on? All right. So one of the other cool features that the opportunity catalog comes with is there's a sort of a built-in renewal incentive for troops. So basically, all troops will get displayed in the opportunity catalog unless they meet the 12-girl maximum limit or they don't want to be. So that is, you know, no one will be forced into the opportunity catalog. It's highly
limit.
encouraged,
Pathetic
but,
troop.
not forced. So the renewal incentive is that basically if the current girls aren't renewed by September 29th, the number of, if there are 10 girls in the troop and on October 1st they haven't been renewed, 10 spots are going to open up in that, in the opportunity catalog for that troop. So if you've already have 10 girls, but at the same time on the back end, those girls can never lose a space. So the ultimate scenario would be if 5 new girls find your troop, you could end up with, say, 15. And I'll show you a breakdown of those numbers later. But, you know, the main point here is that it's just going to, what was it? Jody, what did you say again?
All right, this is Jody. It's actually should say minimum, not maximum.
Okay. Well, yeah, based on the adult to girl ratio, but yeah, minimum limit. Thank you, Jody. All right. So the next big feature of CEI is the member community. This is the member profile piece. This is where personal and family membership registration is managed. This is where troop renewal and troop information is managed. And one of the cool new features is that troop leaders will be able to renew their troop members all at once, or you can renew some of the girls who you know are coming back, and you can delay others. So this is an image of what your member community will look like as a troop leader. So you see in this drop-down renewal choice, troop leaders will be able to, there are options in that drop-down that will say not now. And then you can register some of the girls and not all of them. This is where you can edit information. This is kind of a snapshot of what that will look like. So also want to clarify what's not in the Volunteer Toolkit or in the member community yet. So program, event, camp, and training registrations will continue in eBiz. So what this means is that you will have 2 logins instead of just one. So basically you'll have one for the Volunteer Toolkit and member community, the same one, and then you'll still have your eBiz registration for, or login for program, camp, and event registration. So what this will look like is you'll have this eBiz link. Will continue to stay there, but then we'll have this new MyGS dropdown for the member profile and volunteer toolkit. Basically, GSUSA attempted to have program and camp registration in the new system, but it was too buggy. There were too many problems, so they decided to keep using eBiz for that function as opposed to creating more problems in the new system. So we've been told 2018, maybe later, but and we'll definitely they're working on it constantly, and we'll keep you all posted as we find out. But they're separate. So program and camp registration, and then membership and troop renewal is all in your the new system.
Megan, this is Jody one more time. Can you clarify they will be able to register new girls as troop leaders?
Oh, yes, the troop leaders can register and renew girls.
They can add new girls.
No, because the parents have to add their own child.
Yeah, the first time they're registered, parents have to do it. And guardian ones, yeah.
Yeah.
But troop leaders can renew. Good question. So, in addition, other pieces not directly impacted by CEI will be online volunteer training and the product sale processes and website. Program event trip. So I'm going to stop there for a moment before we move. So any questions on the toolkit, opportunity catalog, member community? I know we're throwing a lot at you tonight. All right, no questions. Okay, moving on. Internal council changes. So CEI is more than just, we are going to be doing a lot of training on better customer service. Oh, wait, we've got a question. I'm going to back up.
Oh, she might have put it in the chat. Maybe unmute Janet. I'm Janet. Here she goes.
There we go.
You are unmuted.
Okay, you're unmuted.
Thank you. So I just want to go back real quick to the girls. Yep, can y'all hear me okay? The registration piece for girls. So, like, as an example, I currently handle the wait list for the Charlottesville area, and troops will tell me, for instance, I'm willing to have 12 girls, and then that's my limit. So when you gave the example of, let's say 10 girls had spots, they haven't re-registered on October 1 or whenever the date is, but they plan to, they're just late in getting it done, and then 5 new girls come in, and you said you could end up with 15. But if I'm a leader and I don't want 15, can you set limits? How does that all work? Or can I put them on hold, those 5 girls? I mean, how does that piece work?
So you can set limits. The trick though is that's the renewal incentive ultimately. So it's a way that your current girls can't lose their spot, but in case they don't renew.
It's still not okay, because I mean, here's the problem. We have had situations where people say, you know, I want to know, right, who's going to be in my troop and stuff, and to have people just randomly join your troop as a leader isn't always the best option. So, I mean, it sounds like we just have to take whoever shows up and searches can just join our troop. That may not always be the best fit.
No, you're completely right, and I understand your question now. And the opportunity catalog is not mandatory at all. So if troop leaders don't want random girls, they do not have to be, and they will not be in the opportunity catalog. There will be staff, there will be a communication process. Every year we'll work with troop leaders. we'll have an online form where they can let us know. They can email us and say,
Okay.
we're at max, or you know what, we've got some difficult girls and we need to come out of that opportunity catalog because we can't handle more than 6. So absolutely,
Yeah.
Great
Got it.
question.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
Megan, I have a question. This is Rennie.
Hey, Rennie.
I understand not wanting just random girls. I understand that, but is there a way for people just to see that there's a troop in their area with openings and then make contact another way? So they're not necessarily signing up, but they at least have the information to research it.
Now, yeah, so a prospective parent with a girl, you know, they can get to that opportunity catalog,
right?
And see troops in the area, and basically at that point they would contact the council if they wanted to find out how to get in touch with them if the information wasn't specific enough.
Right.
And also, and as a part of the improved customer management system, we will now know any customer that gets to that troop or opportunity catalog, and if they don't find what they're looking for, our staff will be able to see, based on that information they entered on the first page, name, grade, email, and then they'll be able to contact them and say, hey, looks like you stopped at the opportunity catalog. Let's talk through what you're looking for. Yeah.
Oh, good, good. Because I know there have been parents who've not been able to get girls in a troop because no one got back to them. So good. Okay.
Our other problem is reverse, Rennie. We have troops that are like, oh no, we're accepting girls. No one has placed us down for that. And so those troops that are accepting more girls, they'll be able to be in that opportunity catalog and accept them into their troop.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Problems on both sides.
Yeah. Good.
Awesome. Great questions. Any others? For now? Okay. Cool. All right. So then, as part of that system, the customer management system, and like I was saying, when a customer stops on any step of the registration process, so even if they pick a troop and then they go to the next step and they get stuck at payment, we'll know, we'll be able to contact them and facilitate the conversation. And one of the other cool parts is that once a volunteer or girl is registered with a troop and they go all the way through the process, troop leaders will immediately receive an email that says, Mary Jane just joined your troop, here's her age and her contact information, and you'll be able to facilitate that communication right off the bat and welcome them into your troop. And staff will also be notified of that.
Can I ask a quick question? This is Janet. Sorry, I also wanted to ask about, in that process, so they fill out that form, the girl fills out the form, and they register for your troop. If there's no troop available at that moment or one that doesn't fit them, are they finishing the registration process, they're still registered, or are they just kind of in limbo at that point?
Well, actually, Janet, one of the neatest things about this system is that when our staff or volunteers are out there doing a membership marketing event, maybe an open house, they will actually create troops for it. They will be shell troops. They'll say, okay, at this elementary school, maybe there's no troops available. They're currently filled, or there are no troops there currently. And so they'll actually go in and create what are considered shell troops, give them a number, and so when they're done with that open house and they're wanting to go sign up, they'll look at that elementary school and they will see, oh, it looks like I can sign up for this Daisy troop in this, and they need this many number of volunteers to get it going. So this troop starts forming on its own. And it starts forming together until all of a sudden there are 10 girls appearing in it, and there's some adults who are interested in volunteering within it. And then the troop forms that way more, instead of being behind in the waiting list, they're actually forming their own troop.
It sounds like it's more organic. But so what you're saying though is, sounds like because you don't necessarily want a multi-level troop. So you're saying if there's an open house and like there's, there ends up being 5 kindergartners and first graders that happen to be at that school, then they're in that little shell troop, and they just, now it's a matter of the 2 volunteers stepping up to start it. Is that correct? Not that if there were kindergartners and 4th graders and 2nd graders, a shell troop would be created for that one group.
No, they would create a daisy, for an elementary school, they would create a daisy troop, a brownie troop, and a junior troop. That would be shell troops. So, and then they would try to go from there with that. Now, I mean, the whole idea is we're figuring making this easier, making it more accessible, and they're seeing that the girls are joining, that the leaders will come, adults will come forth to be co-leaders for the troop. And that's also a change we'll talk about a little bit later.
Right. So, hey, Jennifer, I'm going to jump in. I just want to answer her question about the registration. They do not have to register in order, so the system kind of does organically build a waiting list within there, and again, that's what Jennifer's talking about, the communication. So they don't have to register. We'll know where they are in the system and waiting for a troop and be able to contact them and hopefully get them placed, or at least, have them go to an open house or whatever. So just want to let them know that they don't have to register. We're not taking their money until they're, they want to register.
Yeah, there's a couple different avenues, and we're gonna have these Thursday webinars where we're gonna do deeper dives into the opportunity catalog and then council processes for how we'll capture them. There's a few different ways we'll be able to support people. All right. So right now, the critical pieces that we're working on to ensure the best customer experience possible is we're focused on data cleanup and eBiz and starting to talk with troop leaders about the opportunity catalog renewal incentive and just why they want to have that conversation. So the critical data needed for the smoothest transition is we need every adult in eBiz to have their updated email in the system. We also need a date of birth for the girls and a Guardian 1 / primary caregiver. The troop information, so we need the most up-to-date grades and levels, who your troop members are and their member information. So again, the adult email, and then the girl date of birth and their primary caregiver, Guardian 1. Then we need to know the number of girls you currently have and the volunteers you have or need, meeting location, days, and times. So right now, some of you may have already received some emails from your volunteer service member or managers and the membership managers asking for this information. So this information is going to ensure that when we make the switch in June and you get your email that says, all right, you're ready to log into the new member profile, the member community, you'll be able to see your correct troop information and your personal information, and parents will be able to see their daughters. And then, of course, with the other troop information for the troops that choose to be in the opportunity catalog, your correct information is showing. Because to that question about parents maybe seeing a troop and they want to stop by and check it out, if you're at a certain church and you're meeting and you've got it shown and you're meeting on Mondays and you used to be Tuesdays, you want to have that up to date. And then, of course, for the renewal incentive, which I explained earlier. So the main thing is just encouraging troop leaders to have those conversations with their girls and their parents about, are you going to renew, and making that happen before the October 1st switch. So how you can help us right now, just spread the word about getting and parent and girl information correct for eBiz. The best option is just to email the information to staff, to your volunteer service manager, because I know eBiz is painful. No one remembers their login. You use it once a year. It's terrible, and that's why we're transitioning off of it. So probably the best and easiest is just email the volunteer service managers, and then staff will be reaching out more frequently, educating about the opportunity catalog. And then to also help with renewal, we're going to be facilitating what we're calling renewal hubs in July, August, and September, especially in some of the more rural areas. We're going to have an incentive patch, and Jody will be rolling out more information on that later. All right, I'm going to take a break there for a moment. Any questions on that? Need clean data, so it's as easy as possible for you all and parents and all the troop leaders.
Megan, is there still a cutoff date as to when leaders can register? Is it still by like October 1st, or will they be able to register their girls anytime?
You'll be able to register, yeah, anytime.
Yeah, even afterwards.
Yes,
still.
absolutely, anytime. It's just a matter of openings. There's just a number of openings showing you new troop. So if you've got 5 girls and you are requesting and you're willing to meet the 12 limit, right? If you haven't renewed them, then the system looks at that as, okay, those 5 girls aren't coming back, so we need to fill those spots. So, but you can, once you, on October 2nd, if you then get in there and renew those girls, then those 5 spots go away, and it goes back.
Filled.
Yeah, they get filled.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And again, we're going to keep talking about this topic because it's new and it's going to be, it's different, and we'll keep explaining more and more of this as we get closer. All right, so also, part of the point of these meetings is that we want to talk through some of the changes and get your feedback on how to roll them out. So, kind of an easy example, and a good one to start with. So right now, we have an 01 troop leader, and we have one 02 co-leader. What we've heard from a lot of our troop leaders is that they feel the pressure of being called the troop leader, and we're going to move to 2 troop co-leaders per troop. So the question is, what's the best way to communicate the switch out to before the 201 versus the June switch? Because what we have to do is make the switch on the back end. And I know so it's kind of a technical process, but basically National will run this query or this script on the back end before we go live, and to upgrade all current 02s to 01s. The big difference is just that when they log into eBiz the next time, they will be able to see troop rosters. So we're just getting that process started. So the question is, we can either notify 02s ahead of time that they will see their troop rosters, like, hey, we're going to make the switch, or we make the switch and then we prepare our customer care and phone lines for explanations of why you can see troop roster. So we're looking for your guidance, like what do you think, what would be the best experience for you? We're leaning towards the first one, over communicate, but this is the kind of stuff we'd love to hear your input.
Well, this is Janet, and as a leader, I can tell you that when I first used O2s and eBiz, I didn't realize that you couldn't see the roster many years back. And so there was definitely disadvantages to having the O2 to begin with. So I think that most people who are O2s probably either aren't logging into eBiz or won't care. So I would just go with number 1 and do it, and then tell them, oh, by the way, now you have extra information. I don't think anyone's going to be upset by that.
That's awesome, yeah.
This is Debbie. I think we can probably just announce that kind of thing in the service unit meetings.
Okay. That's a good idea. You can let the service unit team leaders know, like Debbie.
Yep. What about the Girl Scout Connections?
Yeah, we can do it in a variety.
You mention it in a couple places. All right. Awesome. All right. So another question. How can we best get troop leaders to email in their information to the volunteer service, volunteer service managers between now and when we go live? So girl date of birth, Guardian 1. So they've been mailing out or emailing troop rosters to specific troop leaders and asking them to take it to the parents. Any other ideas? I guess you have service unit
I
meetings.
also want to just, this is Janet again, I just want to say that I know some of the emails, like even in my own troop, are incorrect because especially girls who are on scholarship, those were hand entered because they're on paper, so a lot of them were not always typed correctly. And I don't think I have the ability as a leader to go in and edit it, so it's a little bit challenging. It's a lot of leaders probably just don't even worry about it. So I would just mention now that if you can get people to go into eBiz, even take a screenshot or something to show their parents, because they may not realize, or they can even double check if they have their parents' email. But that may be a big problem, is that the hand-entered ones sometimes have typos and are incorrect. Is there any way at council if y'all could find out which ones are bouncing?
We know that it's a lot, Janet, because when we've actually placed in our girl member email addresses, which is usually parents we're talking about, unless a couple older girls might have their own email addresses. We have been told that there have been a lot of what's the word for it? They've come back. they're rotten. They're not good email addresses, and we don't even actually email that group out because it's up to 15% roll back to us, and that's really, really high.
And I don't think there's an easy way to connect them to the actual person and then try to find another way to contact them. So that's why ultimately we're just trying to get the word out. We need your correct email information, and we need your daughter's date of birth and Guardian 1, and just to email that in to our staff or call it in or scan it in, and we'll enter it, but because we know eBiz is painful, so some people just don't want to go in there, or like you said, troop leaders aren't sure, and troop leaders can't, yeah.
I don't think it's on the roster anymore either, but I'm one of the people, of course, who gets a roster every week. Is there any way for us to edit the roster that we currently have to show the parent emails again for at least a week or two, or run a report? Because then maybe the community folks can help guide this and reach out to people, and just say, I'm going to copy and paste for you, Troop A. Here's all of the parents and their email addresses. Can you double check that your troop is all good?
Volunteer service managers are doing, actually. They are taking those rosters directly, right? They're emailing
it to them. But I guess, so is your question, Janet, whether if they print it and take it to the meeting and the parents edit it or, make their comments, can the troop leader come back to that document and update it? Is that the question?
Well, my question is, the roster I currently see, and maybe I see something different than the volunteer service manager seeing. The roster I see does not have emails on it anymore. It used to have parent emails on it and addresses and stuff and phone numbers, and it does not anymore. The weekly one I get out of eBiz that gets sent out. But I don't know if the ones they have more information. But what I tend to do is try and tell people, here's who's in your eBiz, double check this. might be helpful for us because we have 90 troops. So I can just copy and post it to the leader and go, make sure all these parent addresses are correct. Do we have that what the volunteer service managers have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because, yeah, that information wasn't, we couldn't send that out to service unit leaders to share, but we're able to send that directly to the troop leaders, and that's part of the process. So, yeah, so the big thing is if you all can just kind of spread the word and tell them to, you know, get excited about it and take it seriously, it'll help. Because, and so the next question, and this isn't so much for right now necessarily, but something we need to all be thinking about and something we're definitely thinking about as we move into it. We've got to work on overcoming the resistance to online registration, and a big part of that is it's because of eBiz. eBiz is painful, frustrating, and people don't trust it. It's a terrible user experience, but this is not eBiz in the best way possible. And you know, if we don't have their right email addresses or the troop information isn't correct, and we log in, you're going to think, oh, see, this is a bad product and this doesn't work and they were wrong again. But if we have the right data to start, you're going to see how easy this really, truly is. Like, it's an amazing improvement. So just something to think about. That's why we want to do renewal hubs, bring technology, bring internet hotspots out so we can, you know, facilitate the online registration and show, you know, get troop leaders up and running on the toolkit. So that's the end. That's the end of it. That's a lot of information, and we'll get into more. Like I said, we'll get into more details with each of these topics, and we'll be sharing more on the internal processes to support them, like how recruiters will use the opportunity catalog, how you know, our internal staff will, new customer service processes. So there's a lot coming. And yeah, so I'm just going to open it up for more questions, concerns, feedback, anything. Really, really appreciate you all calling in.
Should we show them the? Should we show them the CEI webpage? Oh, in case
Yeah.
you want to check out some stuff. We actually have a webpage on the gsvsc.org website. It's actually just /CEI. And it's a great place if you want to let other troop leaders know, other service unit team members know about CEI. There's a video explaining it, the Volunteer Toolkit itself, as well as there's also FAQs on there, FAQs about CEI, FAQs about the Opportunity Catalog.
I also want to underscore the name of this initiative. It is called the Customer Engagement because National recognized that as an organization across the board, we were not providing the tools needed to support our volunteers and making it easy for them to get involved and plan for their goals. And so this is about you all. And I know there's been a lot of change in this council, and a lot, you know, not necessarily for the best, but this is a proactive change, and I just really appreciate your coming to the table and just, you know, and listening and caring.
Thank you all. Any other questions?
You. Megan, this is Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
I apologize. I thought I was going to be home before now. Did you say this was recorded, and if so, where can I view this again, please? I could hear you, but I could only imagine what it looked like.
Absolutely. So
I had my iPad with me, but I didn't figure it would be good to watch it and drive at the same time.
you are correct. Thank you for not doing that. Well, I will absolutely email this to the group.
Okay.
We've got the presentation on the website. Should we link the webinar from the website as well, from the CEI
Yeah,
website?
we'll probably upload it to our YouTube channel, and then we'll link it from here to here.
This is Deb from Bedford.
Deb?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I tried to sign into the Volunteer Toolkit demo, and it asks for a council password.
So how did
Do you know what that is?
How did you access the Volunteer Toolkit?
I clicked on gsvsc.org/CEI, and then I went into the slides, and there's actually a key in there that you click that says Volunteer Toolkit Demo.
Okay.
And then it asks for a login.
Yeah, that is the demo from National, and we can't give out the login for that. So I apologize for that tease.
Okay.
But, Deb, and you said you're in Bedford?
Yes.
I will absolutely be coming to the service unit meeting at some point between now and June, and you will be able to get onto it when I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately the toolkit is not something we have to play around with yet until it's live.
It seemed, because of the slides, it made it seem like that was for us to see the screens.
Well, and it was for the presentation, and I did open it up and I went into it, but I apologize for making it seem like you all could use it. So I'll remove that and we'll update that website link.
Okay.
I'll just look at the YouTube video when you put it up there.
Actually, you know, right below, I don't know if you're actually viewing the screen right now, but there's 5 videos on the Volunteer Toolkit and how actually the volunteers will access it and how they'll utilize it. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're
nice little videos.
Yeah, they're really professional.
Where are they? How do I access those?
So if you go to gsvsc.org/CEI, at the very, very bottom of the page, there is a YouTube video that says 1 out of 5 year plan options.
Okay.
And underneath the little play is the volunteer. So if you click on that, that'll take you to YouTube, and you'll see the 5 Volunteer Toolkit videos.
Got it.
They're
okay,
kind of
thank you.
instructional pieces, but those are really nice pieces to kind of see how it's going to look.
Okay. But this is Randy. I've looked at them. They are very good information.
Anything else? Well, if you think of something afterwards, please give Megan or myself a call or an email. Megan's information is actually on this website here. She's the main contact for CEI, but please feel free to call me as well, Jennifer, and we'll get your questions answered. And thank you very much.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. Lots more to come.
Thank
Everyone
you.
have a great evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Nice driving, Nancy.